Hey, you're new in town. Well, this is Everdell. Actually, this Everdell is different. It's ours, and it's made for us kids. We're gonna build an awesome fort, we're gonna find all of our critter friends, and we're gonna try to attend as many parades as we can. Parades are the best. This is my Lil Everdell, which was designed by James and Clarissa A. Wilson and published by Starling Games, who helped sponsor this video. Hey everyone, my name is Mike Murphy of the Brothers Murphy, and I'm here with Board Game Geek. Well, you know, I think I hear a parade coming, so let's get this game down to the table so we can teach you how to play My Lil Everdell. My Lil Everdell is a simpler, more kid-focused version of its bigger sibling Everdell. In this game, you'll take on the role of a captain and their friends who are trying to collect critters and places in the form of colorblind-friendly cards, and also trying to collect one of each parade tile. You'll do this through worker placement and managing your woodland resources, but before we get into all that, let's go over the setup. Place the game board in the center of the table and place the moon token here above the first round spot. Place the point tokens into a crate and place it near the board. Sort the twigs, berries, and resins into the 3 crates and place them above the river in these 3 spaces here. Then place 1 die per player above each worker placement space below the river here. So in our 3-player game, we would use 3 resource dice. Sort the 4 parade tiles into stacks and place them on the road with the lowest value on bottom and the highest value on top. Take all of the main deck cards, shuffle them, and then deal 8 cards face up below the board. Place the rest of the deck near the board. Each player will receive a home board and 3 friends of the same type. The shortest player will go first and will receive the first player's sun token. If playing with younger players, you may give them a slight advantage by having them start the game with 1 twig, 1 berry, and 1 resin. You may also have them start with 1 fort card and 1 captain card. This will get their engine going a little quicker. This card and 8-sided die are only used in the solo game, so they can be returned to the box. And that concludes the setup. My Lil Everdell will be played over 4 rounds. At the start of the round, roll out the resource dice and place 1 at each worker placement space below the river. Now players will gather goodies. To gather goodies, you'll activate all of your green cards that you have in your tableau. Note that in the first round, you won't have any yet. That is unless you are starting with a captain and fort card, in which case you would gain 1 point token and 1 resource of your choosing. Now the players will take turns starting with the player with the sun token, then moving clockwise around the table. On their turn, a player will place 1 of their friends on a worker placement space and activate it, and then they may play 1 card from below the board if able. After this, the player may claim a parade tile if they meet its requirements. Then the next player will take a turn and play will continue until all players have played all of their friends. Then players will return their friends to their home board and the sun token will move to the next player to the right. The moon token will move to the next place on the board and the next round will begin. Now let's talk about what you can do on your turn. First, you will place 1 of your friends. You may place them on any one of the 3 resource spaces above the river. These spaces are unlimited and any number of friends may be here, including multiples of your own. When you place a friend here, you will either gain 1 resin, 1 twig, or 1 berry. You may also place a friend on one of the dice locations below the river, though these spaces may only have 1 friend on them, so once someone goes there, the space is blocked for the rest of the round. When you go here, you will gain the resources shown on the die. These will give the player even more resources and possibly some points as well. The last place you may place your workers is on any red cards you have in your tableau. Note that you may only place a friend on cards in your tableau. You cannot place on other players' cards. We'll go over all the cards and what they do at the end of the teach. Once you have placed a friend, you may play a card from below the board. All cards are either critters or places. The cost of the card is at the top here, and to the right is the point value of the card for endgame scoring. The color of the banner and this symbol denote what kind of card it is. And lastly, at the bottom, it states what the card does. When you buy a card, you'll turn in the resources it requires and place it in your tableau. It's usually a good idea to sort cards by type, as it makes it easier to see for when you're claiming parade tiles. There are 5 different cards in the game. Green cards will activate when you purchase them and then during every gather goodies phase each round. Tan cards will activate once when you purchase them and then never again. Blue cards will activate when they state, or they may give you a discount on certain cards. Red cards give you extra worker placement spaces, and finally purple cards will give you endgame scoring. After you've purchased a card, you may claim a parade tile if able. You may only have 1 of each parade tile and you want to get to them quickly as their value will go down as they are taken. You may claim this parade tile if you have 5 places and this one if you have 5 critters. This tile requires you to have 1 of each symbol, and you may claim this one if you have 3 of one type of card excluding green. After a player has finished their turn, the next player will take their turn. This will continue until 4 rounds have been played. Once that happens, you will proceed to endgame scoring. At the end of the game, every 2 resources you have left over will be worth 1 point. You'll count up all the points on your cards, making sure to add extra points you get from your purple cards. Note that the King and Evertree don't gain any extra points, but they're just worth a lot of points on their own. Count up the points from your collected parade tiles and points you got during the game, and the player with the most points will win. If there's a tie, the player with the most points gained from their cards wins. Okay, so that is how you play My Lil Everdell. Before we head out though, let's quickly go over each of the cards so you know how they work. Let's start with the green cards. The Orchard, Farm, and Farmer will all give you a berry when activated. The Racetrack and Glider will give you 1 resin, and the Barge, Toad, and Rope Bridge will give you 1 twig. The Market and Doctor will give you 1 resource of your choosing, and the Maze, the Treasure Hunter, and the Dragon Den give you 1 point. Chip and Sweep will allow you to copy another of your green cards, and the Postal Pigeon and Train will allow you to turn in any resource to gain any 2 resources. The tan cards will activate when you buy them. The Feast, the Old One, the Party, the Pie Shop, the Inventor, and the Wanderer all give you the resources shown on them. The Air Balloon and the Hero allow you to move one of your friends to an available location and activate it. Now let's see the blue cards. The Jail and the Bank will activate and give you a resource or point after you play a critter card, and the Conductor and the Shopkeeper do the same but after you play a place card. The Swimming Hole and Fort Builder make playing critters and places a bit cheaper. The Juggler will gain you points after you take a parade tile, and the School will give you a point after you play a red, blue, or tan card. The red cards are places where you can put your friends. The Toy Shop, the Toy Maker, the Berry Bear, the Pirate Ship, and the Hideout will all gain you resources and points listed. The Map Maker and the Lookout allow you to gain resources from a die on the main board. And the Grass Clipper allows you to activate 2 of your green cards. And finally, let's go over the purple cards. The Princess, Prince, Zipline, Castle, and Palace cards will give you 1 point for each card of the type listed on them. The Queen will give you 1 point for every parade tile you have, and the Painter and Dance Floor give you points for your place and critter cards. And the King and Evertree don't give you any extra points, but they are worth a bunch of points on their own. And that is how you play My Lil Everdell.
My Lil Everdell is an easier to grasp version of Everdell. It's streamlined and more straightforward while still being much like the original game. The art and style of the game is the same, and you're doing a lot of the same things. You're trying to build up a good engine so that every round you're able to do as much as possible, but there's still a race for the best spots on the board, the cards, and the best parade tiles. And if My Lil Everdell seems like a game you'd enjoy, be sure to check out its page at BoardGameGeek.com. And until next time, I'm Mike Murphy, and that is how you play My Lil Everdell. Have a great day.